Hello, everyone. This is Zami from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Oregon Short Film Festival. Right now, we're gearing up for our spring event, which is going to take place on March 17th at the beautiful historic Clinton Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. And today, we're talking with some of our participating filmmakers. We have the team from Don't Ask with us today. Cary, Rupert, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, really quickly, can you introduce yourselves and tell us what your roles were in this film?
Sure. I'm Cary Tusan, and I was I'm the writer and director of the short.
Excellent. And Rupert?
Yeah, I'm Rupert Wild. I was the producer and director of photography for the project.
Okay, well, thank you guys for meeting with me. And I just want to say this movie's it's short, but it's funny. It's got a great, unique idea, and I love the cast. And I just want to ask, what inspired you to make this film?
Sure, I can start out. For me, this kind of germinated several years ago back when I was living in Los Angeles. I was taking a sketch writing class at the Upright Citizens Brigade. And one of the things that the teacher there, Dan Leppert was his name, would do is he'd run it like our writer's room. And we'd go and pitch ideas. And this was an idea that I had that got pitched. It seemed to get some chuckles in the group. So it was always in the back of my mind of something to write. It's one of those things I've never let anything go because it just kind of kept coming back to me. And so, about last year is when I really went ahead and said, I really want to write this because I thought it was funny. It's always fun to kind of play around with technology and what people are,
Totally.
take things in a different direction. Like I like having comedy goes one way and then it just goes where you might not expect it. But I
Right.
love sketch comedy writing, so that's where this came from.
Awesome. Well, I like that. I like that you were able to sort of brainstorm the idea with a group to begin with, and you got the response. It is funny, and then you were able to kind of go full speed ahead and make it into a short. What about you, Rupert? What inspired your role in this film?
Yeah, so Carrie and I met. We're both transplants to Portland, and we met and connected actually through our meditation practices. We'd both kind of adopted that over the last
Oh,
few
cool.
years, and we wanted to bring kind of a mindful awareness to set. Both Carrie and I have been in the film industry for some years, and applying that now to our new home, Portland. And so comedy is always something I love doing and love watching. And going into this with Carrie and having an emphasis on, let's do this in a way that we can be more present, we can be more effective. As you mentioned, the cast, we get such a good cast with this, and so yeah, it was just really about coming together, working with Carrie, and going in this comedy direction.
Well, I love that. I love to hear how you guys met and you're on the same page already in a certain respect. So I'm curious, what was the on-set dynamic like? What was the shooting process like? Was it smooth, easy? Were there hiccups? Was it tough? What do you guys think?
Yeah, actually, and Ruben can talk about this more too. This was like so. This is our first time making a short together, so it was a process of us, learning each other's ways. But we're both on the same page, and my experiences from making other shorts in the past, back when especially when I was in Los Angeles, is always interesting when when you meet new people and you just click with some people and you go, okay, it's like a shorthand that can kind of develop, and it makes it a lot easier and smoother when you both can say something or just know, oh, okay, that's what we need to do, and get get it done in a timely fashion, but also a way that is always beneficial to the project.
Totally.
So yeah, for me it was a smooth shoot, uh, and I knew I could trust Rupert with he's a very talented cinematographer. So knowing like what we could do was good, knowing that he saw my vision as well when I was writing this.
Totally. Well, I love that. What about you, Rupert?
Yeah, I think I would just add to that pre-production. We sat down, we broke down the script, we storyboarded, and it really helps. That conversation before any equipment comes out is just so important to kind of start collaborating on ideas, on shot angles, on really the breadth of the shot list, and then having a shot list was vital. We did a 2-day production, two 6.5-hour days, with a nice break for lunch, and it just went It went nice and smoothly. In fact, Cary, you know, on the day threw an extra shot at me, or two shots maybe. And because everything was so well planned out, I just sort of, okay, I thought this might be coming, but yeah, we fit this in, and we did great. We ended ahead of schedule. It was really, really smooth.
I love to hear that. It's so rare, especially in the independent film world where you have to take on so many responsibilities and so many things can go wrong. I love to hear a nice, smooth shoot happened. Um, well, let's talk about the cast. Tell me how you guys did that. They all had great chemistry, and they're all able to really kind of personally diverge their characters. I felt they all had distinct line delivery and attitudes. How did you guys go about casting this?
We got. I feel fortunate to that we got the cast we did. You know, we again kind of, especially me not having shot anything here before, I really had no connections to actors here or resources. So it was a learning experience for me as well of just finding where to tap into. And I do have to give credit. There's a woman we brought on board named Betty, who handled our casting, and she did a great job of getting out there and casting a wide net to get
Really?
the group that we ended up coming into audition and finding people that I felt like, you know, go, okay, that person nailed it, or they're, you know, for this particular role, you can just, they embody that character and go, okay,
Right.
this is them. They said the line exactly like I knew it was going to be, and they bring a little something extra to it.
Totally.
And
What about you,
that's what I was
Rupert?
looking
Any
for.
thoughts on the casting process?
Yeah, as Cary said, we really spread the net quite wide. Went through PSU, a couple of acting teachers in town here, and so we had some difficult choices to make. But we taped the auditions, which I always think is a good idea, and then
Mm,
rewatching them, you know, we're really able to see, okay, this is that character coming out. And yeah, it was beautiful to have so many applicants, and to really have to make some tough decisions. But it was funny at the end of the day, there were definitely everyone that we chose, it was like that's who that person is. They brought that role to life.
okay, totally. Well, I love to hear when the actors bring a little bit of themselves because it kind of highlights the truly collaborative nature of film. You guys are working together and you're creating the script, but then the actors just come and add that final piece. Well, tell me,
Yeah,
guys, what did you learn
sorry,
from
I
this
do want to add
experience?
one other thing to that, just because I mean that's a good point, which is
Totally.
when the actor brings something else. And as a writer and director, I enjoy seeing this happen in a read through, which is another important part I found. It, you know, I'm
Uh,
enjoying the process before you get to shooting is finding and listening. Okay, they said something extra in there that wasn't in that, but that line is just as funny, if not funnier, than what I have. Let's work it in, and then I would go and mold it. And so that's just
okay.
something I like, you know, keeping open to as a writer director.
Totally. I mean, that's got to be the hallmark of a skilled actor. Even through a read through, they're putting themselves in there. That means they know who they are as an actor. They know what they're doing. That's awesome to hear. Well, tell me, what did you guys learn from this process? Did you take any new insights on the craft?
For me, as a director, I'm always learning. You know, I have more experience as a writer than as a director, and so what's always helpful for me is, you know, Rupert was is a great DP, and so it's good to have when there's someone who has I can feel confident in like that, where I can just focus on directing or working with the actors, which is to me something I'm always learning to do, is working with the actors and giving them what they need for their performance, or sometimes just letting them, you know, find their space. That's something that
Totally.
I'm also always learning, and I learned on this too, you know, which is always a great skill to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting if you primarily operate as a writer and now you have the opportunity to follow that through to the directing stage where you're now working with the actors, and I think it's super valuable to see both sides of that scheme. What about you, Rupert? What did you take away from this process?
Yeah, I love what Cary said there, and I'd echo that you are always learning. I think one of the big lessons learned was just a silly technical thing where we had our shots planned out, but the physical limitation of the space was such that I was right backed up against a
Okay.
window. had to put on a much wider lens than I would have preferred to use. And so my lesson was, in hindsight, I realized, well, I could have just opened up the window, taken out the screen that I was backed up against, and just shot from outside,
Oh, right.
And so just little things like that, you constantly, you're practicing your skills, whatever it is. If you're just getting started with working a camera, with working audio, with working lighting. And yeah, it's beautiful to just be able to kind of be in the moment there and take that lesson and have all that pre-production in place so that it can be as calm as possible for problem solving like that.
Totally. I mean, I think that's maybe the biggest thing that people starting out in independent film should kind of focus on is anytime a production goes smooth, it's always because the pre-production is so solid, and it gives you that freedom to go in and maybe even improvise and experiment some more because you have that basis that you can rely on. So that's great advice. Well, tell me, guys, what are you working on next? Do you have any more collaborative projects or any more solo projects?
A little of both.
Okay.
There's another short that I actually also came out of that same sketch class. So I recommend anyone who has an opportunity to take a sketch writing class, do so if you love sketch comedy.
Totally.
It's called The Whiskey Experience, and so it's something that I wrote and am going to be filming soon. And then together, Rupert and I are figuring out our next project because we're with our entity Presence Films and really kind of establishing, ourselves in that community. But Rupert also can talk more about that too.
Totally. Well, how about you, Rupert?
Yeah, so immediately, actually, when we hang up, I'm going to be going into Open Signal PDX, which is the local community media space. It's kind of a throw over from the public access days, and I just want to give them a shout out. Any local and any new filmmakers, I would strongly encourage you to get to, if you're in Portland, come to Open Signal, or get to your community media access space, because there's beautiful studios, lighting grids, equipment available. Of course, it's more of a television environment, and that's what I'm going in to do today. I'm going to go shoot it's actually a little dance program. They'll have a DJ, and so we can get creative with some of the angles and stuff, and a green screen loop. But I do want to give a big shout of recognition to community media. We've got an opportunity as people that are coming up, as people that are seasoned, to be giving some content back for community.
Totally. I mean, and also just to further that, Open Signal, the people there, they really care about the local film scene. They care about local media production. Even if you're not planning on using the studio, using the equipment, anything, I recommend all people in the local film world to just go connect, meet them. They love supporting these things. They know how to network and connect you with others. So great shout out. And I love to hear that you guys are locals and involved with the local scene. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Don't Ask?
Just that I'm very grateful for that it came together and that we got the group together, and I'm proud of that project. I'm excited for everyone to see it on Sunday.
Excellent. Well,
I'd just echo that. Yeah, and I'm excited to meet more people. I mentioned Cary and I both transplants to Portland, and so festivals like this are a great opportunity to see what other people are doing, collaborate, maybe break off into different groups to do new stuff. So that's going to be exciting.
Well, I cannot wait to play this on March 17th at the Oregon Short Film Festival. It's great fun. You guys are a great team. And I really think that this time around, this event, it's going to have tons of locals. We often get people from LA, maybe Midwest, maybe some New Yorkers. But this time around, the local presence is really strong. I think it's going to be such a fun experience to network and meet people. And I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you both for meeting with me today. And I can't wait to see you at the festival.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Take care.